Okay. Now I wanted to also tell y'all how I was married, and I wanted to tell y'all how I got out of my situation, just in case anybody needs that. So I was married, and I had been trying to. How long was I married? I got married in 2008, but I was with the person since high school. So that was a trauma bonding relationship. We was opposite. We was very opposite, but I see my synchronicities have always, that just always been like this. I never had the need to talk. Now that everybody's mind is open up and everybody is showing their uniqueness, it's like a playground now. It's great. Everybody can be their self. Anyway, I always saw synchronicities, and I never tried to understand stuff immediately. I would for a short period of time, but I would let it go because it's not time for it. You know what I'm saying? That's to keep you safe and protected. Because a lot of people that woke up before their time, they had to reincarnate because their mind was just boom. And they was like, get that person. It could be witch trials, mental illness, Tesla. A lot of people that were ahead of their time that had to be, that left early and had to reincarnate. A lot of these people are going to come back in through these children and stuff like that. But anyway, back to my story. So, I get distracted a lot. And I'm sure that's on purpose. I tried to help that person. The synchronicities, that's where I was. So this person had a Leo mother, a Capricorn father. I had a Leo mother, Capricorn father. I had tons of siblings. He was a only child. His grandfather had my mother's same birthday. It was a lot of synchronicities, a lot. And but we were contrast, a lot of similarities, and it was just telling me later on that we both had to graduate from the same thing, so we were supposed to act like counterbalances. But my opposite, my ex-husband could not heal from his he couldn't heal, so I had to wait to get out of the contract because I willingly got into the contract when I was in high school, but I didn't know no better. You can't help a lot of stuff. People will tell you that. Don't feel bad about the past because a lot of y'all learning to be teachers, so you got to go through it. You got to suffer for a whole group, right? But anyway, I asked to leave Baltimore for 10 years, and it never happened. And I already knew that person was on their own agenda, but I, devoted to family, just being a slave and, blah, 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 just making it work, like everybody else. I finally moved, and I moved to North Carolina. When I moved to North Carolina, this is somewhere where I wanted to be since I was 6 years old. So that was already in me. I finally got down here, and that's when everything exploded and moved to where it was supposed to be. Now, it was very violent. It was very violent when it exploded, but it got me where I was supposed to be. The last thing I heard, he was acting so funny, and the pandemic hit. It was making him act weird. He was watching shows and things that was from a certain era, and he had PTSD, so you gotta factor all that stuff in. I deal with a lot of people with mental illness. My kids have autism. My father had dementia. It's like I know what this stuff look like. You're a teacher. You're gonna learn. You have to stay in lessons longer to be able to help people. Anyway, when I got here, I was liberated. This was a second home to me. Baltimore is a complete swamp. It's a lot of cities that have a magnetic cloud over it to depress people. That's magic, okay? That's part of that spell and glamour magic that I talk about. My nose is itching because my face is dry. Anyway, when I got here, I heard I was actually having an affair. I had an affair before I left, and that opened up my mind. That's how I learned about how people's sex can do different things to your mind. He was taking my planets and binding them so I could not open up. The person that I had the affair with exploded that open. So it made me turn into my true self. And then I came here and I heard, I'm going to skip to the part. I heard the word AIDS. And when I heard that, I was like, I ran straight to the clinic and I got my checkup and I was good. And when I heard it, I was telling my daughter the other day, I was like, I don't even want to see a dick pic. Like, I don't want to see a dick on the internet. Like, that scared me straight. Okay. Not only did I go do that, I wore condoms with him. I became celibate. I got a divorce. I cleaned everything up because this was stuff that I was supposed to do for a long time. I never heard something that clear before. And I was like, ooh, you know what I'm saying? Who gonna take care of the kids? Like, I had a lot. But I got out of everything. I did something that I was trying to do for 20 years in a 2-year time frame because I chose myself. You get what I'm saying? And I had those warnings too. But I was acting so out of character that it was just like I was questioning things. And then the power outages, we was having bulbs burst in the kitchen, fires in stores that we was going to. I was like, things happening in threes, and I was like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I'm gonna listen to this message. Then God wanted me to put out messages, and I did because I started spiritually waking up. Once I got back to where my father was born, I was back on the soil. And anybody don't know, North Carolina is a healing state. I believe this is where, well, I know it's the most rubies and emeralds come from here, but it's a very healing state. There's a bunch of stuff. But anyway, that was my thing. My kids were suffering so bad that I was like, ain't no way. I'm not gonna let him kill me. I'm not gonna let him destroy my children. I had to choose, and I don't blame anybody for not doing that shadow work because it's hard to turn around and face it and try to go through it. And I could see he resented his mother because we moved right next to her. I'm like, I'm confused. Don't you move away from the problem, not to the problem. But I could not stand and fight in that battle with them. Then when I moved to this state, the mother and son had an issue next door. But the synchronicities was blowing my freaking mind to the point where I was like, let me out. I couldn't afford to go crazy with dealing with all of the mental illness, the kids with autism, my father. I had to leave. I always had to trade off. I had to leave my father first for my husband. I had to leave my husband for my kids. And now I'm finally unraveling all of that air sign, Gemini duality, interference, getting it off of me because my kids will come in and they're, you know, he constantly drinking and pulling off of their energy, their liver. And I could tell, I could look at their veins. I could tell I can tell a lot of stuff just because the way I see. I'm pretty sure that 2 autistic kids, you know, I'm probably autistic. I just never got diagnosed from it. So, I'm not, the emotional intelligence is extremely high, but you don't have, nobody is giving you real definitions for it. It's something that you have to do for yourself. But I just wanted to give y'all my story because I wasn't thinking about, I'd rather leave with the shirt on my back and my sanity than anything else. I don't want to think about, oh, the money, oh, the kids. The kids had to find out on their own. And they did. They was like, wow, well, he said he was going to do this and he ain't come through. So I let them find out on their own, but I've always remained an emotional support for them. And that kept them stable. That kept them very stable. That emotion, not pacifying them, not giving them stuff, not to say I don't give them stuff, but that emotional intelligence, that emotional support that you give them, knowing that their emotion, letting them know that their emotions is king and expressing themselves, that helped them not to be in the same fucked up situation that you was in. And it's a lot of parents out here trying to kill their kids by outdoing them because if I get too far in it, it'd be complicated. But it's people out here that have known each other from a past life, that's brother and sister, that is they're the parent and their parents is the child. It gets too complicated. That's why you got to trust your feelings. You don't need to know all the extra stuff sometimes. You just need to trust your feelings and saying, get out of a situation, away from something. That's why emotions is king. So everybody awareness level is going to go up, and you need to respect that. You need to honor it because your life depends on it. I'm going to keep telling people your life depends on it. But yeah, that was just my situation, just for anybody that needed. Do not doubt yourself. Okay, at least you can get clear and you can see for yourself, because that energy will be still mixed in, but at least get your energy clear so you can see what's going on. Is it you or is it that person? What do you need to get away from? Is it you or that job? So, all right, I'm running out of time. That's it.